So, hello, we are the group 6, and uh, our research title is predicting capacity utilization rate of major sectors of manufacturing in the Philippines using multiple regression. My group members are Jose Ricardo Ayala, Ronaldin Vizcarra, Lance Corsega, and Patrick Cosmod. So, next slide, please. So, capacity utilization rate utilization is a metric tool to determine the efficiency of business organizations and uh, economic entities and entities, entities professional and uh, economists to perform business activities with a company by court OI by 2021. Uh, this study This study will focus on exploring the data regarding capacity utilization rate in the Philippines, especially chemical business products, petroleum and rubber and plastic products. As as such, other manufacturing sectors will be explored in this study. Next slide, please. Our objective is uh, the research aims to explore the effects of different sectors of manufacturing on the capacity utilization rate under chemical products. The, the objective of this study aims to determine the significant attributes that contribute to predicting the capacity utilization rate. Next is to create a multiple regression that predicts total manufacturing capacity. Next is to determine the effectiveness of chemical-based product to the capacity utilization rate in the Philippines. So next slide, please.
So literature review and capacity utilization is a theory that aids in the process of economics with the application of statistics to generate insights into the ability of business or products to utilize its manufacturing. The article further implied that capacity utilization is not fixed, but rather sees change, whether marginal or significant, over time. So manufacturing generates more high-quality jobs that pay well because it has strong connections with other industries and with its subsectors, as well as because it can help to improve the quality of services and goods. Sectors of logistics are increasingly active. So the Philippine chemical industry is one of the largest manufacturing industries in the nation and provides goods for many other industries, including packaging, electronics, food processing, national defense, and agriculture and agribusiness. The industry intends to collaborate with the government of the Philippines to develop legislative laws that are based on reliable technical and scientific research and take into account the environment in which the chemical industry operates.
For our synthesis, the purpose of this study is to investigate how various manufacturing industries affect the capacity utilization rate for chemical products. The study aims to ascertain how the Philippine chemical addresses capacity utilization. Chemical products, petroleum products, and rubber and plastic products are the three subsectors that make up the chemical industries to anticipate the capacity usage rate. The researchers' machine learning approach will use multiple regression when evaluating machine learning. The researchers will compare expected and real values and look at the performance matrix. Next slide.
For our methodology, the researchers will use the CRISP-DM methodology. The descriptive developmental technique was used for the study. Various development strategies are explored in contemporary studies. A descriptive research design discusses the population, circumstance, or phenomena under the study. Instead of focusing on the why, it stresses the how, what, when, and where. The method is primarily descriptive research since it's crucial to comprehend a study problem in its entirety before attempting to determine why it exists in the first place. So with that comes our proposed CRISP-DM method, starting from the business understanding, where the researchers want to determine how the chemical industry affects the capacity utilization rate in the Philippines. The chemical industry is composed of three subsectors: chemical products, petroleum products, and rubber and plastic products. The researchers will use multiple regression as its machine learning algorithm to predict the capacity utilization rate. They will take into consideration the performance matrix as a tool for the assessment of the model and comparing the predicted to the actual values. For the data understanding, we have acquired the dataset from Philippine Statistics Authority, which lists all manufacturing sectors that contribute to the capacity utilization rate of the Philippines. For this study, the researchers will only use the attributes concerning the chemical products and manufacturing. For data preparation, with the dataset obtained from PSA, the users have dropped other variables that is not included in the manufacturing capacity and the sectors related to the chemical industry. All the columns has numerical data types, and they identified the predictors, chemical products, petroleum products, plastic products as its X variable, and manufacturing or capacity utilization rate as a target or the Y variable. For the modeling, the researchers will use the attributes of the dataset and undergo a 70-30 train test split, where 70% of the attributes will be used to train the multiple regression model and 30% for the testing. For the evaluation, after application of the model to the test data, the model will be tested by a performance matrix to identify the quality of the model. Additionally, the researchers will compare the actual values with the predicted values and analyze whether the linear regression model was able to perform as intended. And upon deployment, the researchers will use the result of the model to obtain the findings that would be substantial in identifying the capacity utilization of the chemical industry and aim to answer the objectives of our study. Next slide, please. For the findings concerning the objective number 1 of the study, the researchers have collected a dataset containing the different attributes that effectively predict the capacity utilization rate. In order to identify whether the variables are suitable for prediction, the researchers have used a correlation to identify the relationship among the variables. In the image right now are the multiple scatter plots showing the relationship of each variable from petroleum products, chemical products, rubber and plastic products, and manufacturing. Next slide, please. By undergoing the correlation, we are able to identify the following values. For the relationship among petroleum products and manufacturing is 0.895, meaning there is a strong positive correlation. For chemical products and manufacturing is 0.836, which is also a strong positive correlation. For rubber products, it's 0.560, which means there is a strong moderate positive correlation. Next slide, please. Judging by the numbers and the intensity of the heat map, we can identify and conclude that there is a strong positive correlation among the variables, which means as our variables increase, our target value also increases. Next slide, please. For our SOO2, the researchers will create a logistic regression model that aims to determine the levels of manufacturing capacity utilization rate using the different chemical production levels. The researchers will use RapidMiner Studio in the development of our study. The figure indicates the processes created using RapidMiner Studio. From retrieving the dataset, normalizing the values, setting the rules, and the target variable, splitting the data to the 70-30 Tarinta split as specified in our methodology, wherein the 70% will be used to train the linear regression model, and the 30% will be used in the application of the model. Afterwards, the system will go a performance vector training to assess the values and the model. Next slide. With the performance vector indicated, the researchers were able to create an accurate model, judging by the root mean squared error having a low value of 0.374 and the correlation level of 0.99, with the prediction average of 82.5%. The researchers assume that the model is able to be accurate. Next slide. SOO3. Rona.
For our SO3, concerning the objective number 3, researchers will analyze the effectiveness of the chemical-based products to the capacity utilization rate of the Philippines. This will be conducted by analyzing the capacity utilization rate obtained from testing the model and identifying whether the utilization rates are good, bad, or average. Can you show the next slide? For the both figures show the figures show the predictors with the actual and predicted values of the outcome. The actual and predicted values are close to each other, which means that the RMSE rating holds true. For example, looking at the outcome of the first row, we can see that the manufacturing capacity rate is 84.3, while the predicted value is 84.338. Likewise, there are also slightly further predictors like the output in the rows number 7, wherein the actual value is 72.8, while the predicted value is 74.9. Next slide. For our conclusions and recommendations, the researchers aim to explore the effects of different sectors of manufacturing on the capacity utilization rate under chemical products. In particular, data on capacity utilization for goods based on chemicals, petroleum, rubber, and plastic will be examined in this study. As a result, this study will not examine other manufacturing industries. The second recommendations is the researchers attempt to predict, the conclusion, the researchers attempt to predict the capacity utilization rate using the different subsectors under the said. The researchers will create a linear regression model that aims to satisfy the objectives of the study. The researchers have taken a dataset that is openly available on the webpage of the Philippine Statistics Authority regarding the average capacity utilization by sectors in the Philippines from year 2018 to 2021. For our first objective, the researchers were able to determine the significant attributes necessary to predict the capacity utilization rate. By analyzing the correlation of each variable, the researchers were able to determine the variables have a strong moderate positive relationship among each other. For our second objective, The researchers were able to create linear regression model that will be able to predict capacity utilization rate of the Philippines using Rapid Miner Studio. The dataset was fitted into the model and undergone testing. After analyzing the performance and accuracy of the model, the researchers were able to develop an accurate model. For our third objective, the researchers were able to determine effectiveness of chemical-based product to the capacity utilization rate in the Philippines. By comparing the predicted scores to the actual values, the researchers were able to determine the effectiveness of to those that are not. In conclusion, the study was able to satisfy the objectives set back by cross-reference literature and statistical evidence. The significant attributes related to the chemical sector include chemical products, petroleum products, and rubber and plastic products. As the predictors and the manufacturing as the outcome. The researchers developed a linear regression model that was able to accurately predict the values of their capacity utilization rate with minimal error. Researchers were able to identify what makes the capacity utilization rate acceptable or not. Further improve. So our first recommendation is taking a more granular approach into the chemical products concerned in manufacturing goods will be able to further identify the products that are able to satisfy the capacity utilization rate. Our second recommendation, the dataset resolves around the ratios of production is in identifying the capacity utilization rate of an industry. Yes. We suggest to increase the variables so as not to limit production scores. For our last recommendations, to the different sectors of manufacturing in the Philippines, the researchers recommend using the sectors of the industries to use predictors in identifying the capacity utilization rate. So that's it for our presentation for group 6.